Good afternoon all. In this particular lecture, we will see histogram. So in previous classes, we discussed how to calculate mean, mode, median, and along with that, we also discussed frequency distribution. So histogram is one of the way of presentation of the data, and it is a kind of frequency distribution, and it will help us to understand how the data is distributed in a given plane, or we can say along the axis. So basically histograms are widely used to present grouped data. So uh, grouped data and ungrouped data we already discussed, so histogram is very popular for that. Again, in that, if the groups are uneven, then what you need to do, you need to make it even, and then accordingly you need to plot the histogram. So we will discuss most of the things about histogram with the help of example. So let's take one example. Represent the following data by a histogram. So you can see a table is given, in that data is available. So marks of a student and number of students are given. So between 10 and 20, there are 8 numbers of students. 10, 20, 12 number of students. Between 20 and 30, 22 students. 30 and 40, 35 students. 40 and 50, 40 students, and so on. That you can see the range of marks, and corresponding range how many students are there. So this is how the data will be given to you, and here you can observe that this is a grouped data. So 0 to 10 is first group, and corresponding number of students are 8. 10, 20, this is second group, and the corresponding number of students are there. If data is given in non-group, then what you can do? You can arrange the data in ascending order, and based on its distribution, you can appropriately form groups. Okay. And suppose in case of uneven grouping of the data, for example, 0, 5, 5 to 20, then 20 to 30, 30 to 35, such type of uneven grouping is there, then in that case, if possible, you need to group the data, and the range would be 10. So 0 and 10, the difference is 10. 10 and 20, difference is 10. So this is how you need to reorganize the data. Once you organize the data in a proper way, then you can plot the same as a histogram. So you can see on x-axis there is a independent variable marks, and on y-axis you can see number of students, and you can see the first box that consists of 8 number of students who received marks between 0 and 10, corresponding to first class. Second class, there are 12 students who received marks between 10 and 20. So this is second group. In third group, there are 22 students who received marks between 20 and 30. So you can see here. Similarly, 35 students received between marks 30 and 40. 40 students received marks between 40 and 50, and so on. So this is how you can plot a histogram. Now, once you plot a histogram, you can make many observations. So when we look at this histogram, this is not a symmetrical histogram, right? Because you can see that the marks are concentrated towards the right side. So we can call it as a negatively skewed or negatively skewed distribution. So This kind of observation you can make. And when it is skewed distribution, so again we can understand that mean, mode and median will not be at the same point. So that understanding we can make. And this distribution is inclined slightly towards the right, that is data is concentrated more towards the right. So we can say that the paper is simple, or maximum student perform well in the examination. So that kind of observation we can make. Now this is just like a frequency distribution. So when we discuss the frequency distribution, so what we saw that we were plotting a separate bars for each class. And here what we are doing, we are just connecting those bars. So such type of bars we have discussed in frequency distribution. And between two bars, there was some slight spacing was there. And here there is no spacing, as this is a continuous data. So that observation or that slight difference is there. Now, if we want to draw this histogram manually, we can do it easily. Now, when we want to draw this histogram by using a Python code, then you need to understand how you need to plot it. So, how you need to proceed? You need to write a code for what will be there on the x-axis. You need to write a code for what will be there on y-axis. You need to write a code for title. Then you need to write the code so that the code will understand what is on x-axis and corresponding values and corresponding values on y-axis, and along with its pair, because 10 and 20 first pair, 10 20 second pair, and so on. So the code also you need to write in such a way that the Python will understand. And corresponding libraries you need to call, and you need to also decide the scale on x-axis, scale on y-axis, and if you want to plot the numbers on the top of each bar, then appropriately you need to write the code. So these are the some of the basic things you need to understand before you actually write the Python code. So we will take this example and slowly we will try to write the Python code. So as we are going to plot the data, so we need to call a library, that is mathplotlibrary.pyplot as plt. So we will call this particular library. Then we will import numpy as np and import sys. So these are the some of the libraries you need to import. Then you need to define n as number of data set as n. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in this case, there are 10 classes. So this particular line will help you to enter number of classes. And we can directly put n equal to 10, but I put n equal to one code. Why? Because if there is a change in the data set, so accordingly you can enter the number of classes in the output window. Then we need to define certain strings. Okay, so A is first string and enter the title for x-axis. So at output window, you can enter x-axis title. Similarly, B will allow you to enter y-axis title in output window. Then C will allow you to enter the title of the plot, and at A, B and C you might have observed that it is a string, because we are not going to enter numbers, because the axis title and the main title will be a string. Then now we need to write a code so that we can slowly enter the data point. So we will start with x is equal to np, stand for numpy dot 0 n. So we are first of all creating a null matrix. Then we will create a matrix or array for y values. Then we will print a line, enter initial values of x and corresponding y values. We are writing this particular line so that at output window, when this particular line will appear on your screen, you will understand that now you have to enter the values of x and y one by one. So for this, then you need to write so many values, right? And for that we will use a loop for I in range n. So we'll be using a for loop. Then this particular line will help you to allow the values of x axis one by one, and this particular line will help you to enter the values of y in output window one by one. Then we will write a command for plot. So the plot on which x axis values will be there, y axis values will be there, that you can see here, and we will be maintaining the width 10 because the width of each class is 10. You can see in the table. If you want to change, you can do as per your requirement. Then plot title, we already defined it and we are just assigning here. Then plot.x label, it will allow you to print the x-axis title. You can see in the here. Then B for y-axis title, so plot.y label as B. Then plot show, this will allow you to print the histogram on the screen. So basically what we did, first of all, we imported some libraries which are essential to enter the data, to plot the chart, and correspondingly doing some calculations. So these libraries we imported in the first step. Secondly, we write some lines. These lines will help you to define certain values. For example, x-axis title, y-axis title, chart title, and how many data sets will be there, and to create array for x and y. So these primary work we did so that at output window we can enter some value. Then we write a print statement so that in output window we will understand we have to enter the values of x and y. And to enter the values of x and y subsequently one after another, and all the values we use for loop. Thereafter we write the code so that we can appropriately print or visualize the histogram so that we can read that histogram easily. So that's why we divided the whole code into 5 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 parts. Okay, so when you run this particular program, so you can see the first line that is appearing on your screen is enter number of data sets as n, and here you need to enter 10 because in that problem 10 frequencies were there. Then enter x-axis title, this line will be executed, and you will enter marks because we decided on x-axis there will be marks. Then this particular line will get printed. It will ask you enter title for y-axis, and on y-axis the frequency will be there, that is number of students. Then what will be the title of the plot, and it is histogram, so you need to enter histogram in the output window. Then now you can see it is asking you enter the initial values of x and y, x and corresponding value of y. So pair by pair you need to enter the values. So it will ask you to enter the value of x naught. You need to enter 0. Then y naught, you will enter 8. Then x1, you will enter 10. Then y1, you need to enter 12. Then x2, y2, x3, y3, x4, y4, x5, y5, up to x9, y9. So this particular for loop will step by step ask you. First of all, it will ask you to enter x naught, then corresponding y naught, then x1 corresponding y1, x2 corresponding y2, and in front of that there will be a box. In that you need to enter the value. So you already have a table, and by referring that table you will enter these values. Once you enter all these values, a histogram that you can see in the figure right bottom, so that will appear on your screen. So you can see here the x-axis title is marks, y-axis title is number of students, the width is defined 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. Y-axis width is also defined 10, 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. And for each class, you can see a box is appearing on your screen. As we are given same color to all the boxes, so it will show you as a area. There is no differentiating line between the different widths like this. But if you define in a particular way, it will appear on your screen. Or you are free to modify the code here so that the way you want to present the histogram, that will appear on your screen. Okay, so that's it from my side. If you have any question related to this, you can ask. Okay, so if you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we will stop here.